Hi, it's Roger Hart here again from Outsource Safety. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about audiometry, and this links to another video where we've already covered the good reasons for doing audiometry. And there are some excellent reasons for doing it. It's one of the biggest claims out there now. Each claim is worth at least £10,000, and so it's something which you do need to be thinking about protecting yourself. The actual process where you protect yourself is quite easily performed and quite established. The only problems with that are that you have to either send your staff away, and so you might have 10 or 20 people going away for at least half a day, and you times that up, and that's a lot of man hours that have gone missing. Or perhaps you get somebody into your premises. Again, that's quite a significant expense. And the problem with this is it's usually done once a year on a strict day. If you have anyone that joins the business, leaves the business, is on holiday, has sickness absence, you miss those people, then you have that liability and you can't cover it. The costs of getting somebody else in just to perform one test would be prohibitive. We've got a new system here which is much more flexible and means that we can actually perform audiometry when you want it, when you need it, as part of our other services. And so we're going to take the opportunity to show you a little bit more about it up close. So the equipment itself is held by us, and it comes in a small flight case. It's actually based on a small tablet PC, which you can use either within this case, or we could set this up, perhaps even in the back of a car on a headrest or something similar. Depends on where you are and what you need to do. And so it's got a bespoke piece of software on there. That software has been developed by audiometry specialists. It links through to an online database, and so all this information is secure. It's also in real time, and so at the end of these tests, you and the person who's being tested get the results pretty much in real time. And so you can start making your precautions and changes, get your information, controlling your liability from that very moment. And so it works on the basis that you've got a calibrated piece of equipment and also calibrated headphones. And so other than that, it works very much the same as you would get with a permanent installation or one of the transportable systems where you've got a series of beeps which test people's hearing. And so the next thing we'll do is run you through a little bit of the software and show you how that works. So we're at the point now where we'll start putting some information in. And so this is operated by the individual. There will be somebody there who's competent to assist them. But the process itself is very straightforward. It works on a touchscreen basis, which everyone is used to from their smartphones through to their tablets. And so we press start. It'll take us through to a screen where we're going to put in a little bit more information about who we are. And so again, touchscreen, we'll put in our first name. In this case, this is my first name. So, put some more information in. Surname next. Our email address. So I've entered my details. All of that's in there, including the email address, so that I can get a copy of the results back to myself. And I hit the next button. And so this is where it's setting up with the online system to prepare the test, and the point at which I'll put the earphones on. It's marked which side they should go in two different ways. Then I can fit the earphones and start the test itself. And so the beginning of that is a few preparatory questions where we're looking for the background to see what kind of risk profile we've got. And so I can answer personally on a no to that. We've got some medical questions. And so being exposed to noise which is quite loud in the last 48 hours is a typical question. It's something which complies with the guidance. I can rate my hearing, which in my case is good, I'm glad to say. Again, it's good. I don't wear a hearing aid. I haven't suffered any trauma. No ear disease. No deafness in my family. No, and no tinnitus, or giddiness, no drugs, no naughty hobbies I know of. So it's probably worse, but that's normal. That's a no. And I can also choose whether I consent for this health surveillance to be made available to my employer. So in my case, I'm quite happy to do that. And then we're on to the test proper. And so again, a little bit of information just to make sure that all these hearing aids have been removed so we're getting a true reading. And so at this point we've got our earphones on, the headphones that have been calibrated, and we can actually start the test itself. Now what you'll hear now is just a little bit, once we've run through these questions, a little bit more information about the 5 sets of sounds, just to advise me on what I'm expecting to see in the test, or hear in the test rather. And so at this point we're actually running through the test itself. And so each time I can hear that beep, I'm going to press yes. The system itself will vary depending on the hearing of the individual to make sure that it gets a true and representative reading. And so what would happen now is you'd run through this series of tests and it will establish your hearing in each of your ears. So once we come to the end of the test and that person's been through all of the different beeps that they're going to hear, and there's some quite clever logic in there, which means that what you can't do is just keep hitting that button. It's not going to be fooled by that because there's variable delays. It's always looking for feedback, and so you are going to get a true representation based on the kind of clever background software which is working here. And so we'll hit the next button, and we'll be able to see some of the results. And so that's going to display, our Mr. Hart, the date, and we can also see our test. And actually, we've run through this to kind of illustrate this, and so you might not normally see the same graph, but it certainly highlights anything where there's a problem. And that same graph is going to be sent back to me, so that I've got a record of that in my email. And if I've given consent, I'm also going to get a record of that from my employer as well. And it's as simple as that. You may have a few questions, and one of the questions that I first asked was, well, hang on a minute, what if we have a problem in a certain area? If we're going to do a short test, if we've got an environment which is perhaps just a little bit too noisy, or noisier than we would otherwise like. But you look at it and you think, well, the worst that can happen is this person fails and then is referred for another test, or the test is repeated. And so we're in a fail-safe situation, which is something that we're used to recommending in health and safety. But overall, it's a system which has an incredible number of advantages, and key among those is that you can actually capture everybody for an audiogram. So what we've seen here is a really flexible, really useful bit of brand new equipment which could make quite a difference to your business. It means you can capture all those people that you wouldn't otherwise have been able to do with a proper audiometry test. And so if you'd like to find out a little bit more about how we could do this for you, how perhaps we could integrate it to works that we're already doing, a site visit which already takes place, or even something which we could do for you potentially in future, the way we could link this in. It's just 20 minutes of test, and the costs are really competitive. So if you'd like to find out more, please do contact us. And so call us on 01453 800 100, or visit our website at outsourcesafety.co.uk.